Hey guys, welcome back to CrollQ Copywriting Master Framework. In the last video, we touched upon these five stages of your market awareness. The five stages of awareness of the niche, the person afraid that you are going on a coffee date. So let's do a quick recap before we move to the next section. So these stages are if you are completely having a new claim. So if you have a really innovative idea, completely new idea, then you are first to the market. If you are already second to the market, means there are some competition, then you are sort of elaborating on that claim. And if you are third to the market, that means the claim has been presented already in the market. People know about this idea. Somebody has already sort of elaborated on that claim. If you are third to the market, and that's where most of the services kind of start falling into the third and fourth stage. So if you're third to the market, then you put a lot of emphasis on the how to's, how it works, the mechanism for taking your target audience from their current state to their desired state, right? So the mechanism, the vehicle, the transformation mechanism. Um, Transformation mechanism is really the state that you wanted to take them from their current state to future state using this transformation mechanism. And now, if some of these mechanism, product, service already exist like that, right? There is already many services, products who are having similar mechanism. Then on the fourth stage of market, you need to put more elaboration on that mechanism. Here in the previous step, you are putting much emphasis on how it works, but in this stage, not you focus on how it works, but how it works better, faster, and cheaper than other alternatives that are available in the market. See, it's quite a big difference. You're focusing on how it works all the time. Now you have to shift on how this is more better, faster, and cheaper. And most of the products and services are sort of technological expression. Innovations are basically something that you are doing previously, but then you have some innovation where you're doing the same thing with better, faster, cheaper to save money, to save time, right? So the thing that from first stage, second to third, the emphasis or sort of the main idea shift on the elaboration of that mechanism, in the sense that you can prove that your product or service is better, faster, and cheaper as compared to other alternatives in the market. And the fifth stage is kind of deadlock. Here your niche, your market has already heard about many such similar claims, and they don't really care about your claim, and they don't believe in you, they don't believe in a product or service. It's a really difficult stage. But then here you are not focusing on the claim or elaborating that claim, or you're not focusing on explaining them how it works. You're also not telling them how this alternative is better, faster, cheaper than as compared to other options in the market. But here you're completely identifying yourself to the extent that these people, the one person or many representation of this person, are lined up in front of your house. They're ringing your doorbell, and they all want to meet you. So perhaps the many coaching or services where there is high personal touch, right? You can recognize that they need to be really authority in their field. So the here in the fourth category is more like software products and services. In the fifth category, there also can be software services or product, but then you need to completely turn into more hyper personalization or an authority or domain expert, to the extent that these people are lined up in a queue in front of your house, ringing the doorbell. They wanted to meet you somehow because you have identified yourself with them to a very large extent, to a very deeper emotional connection that you have established yourself with these people. Okay, so I hope this explanation really helps you to filter unnecessary information from those insights that are generated during the process. Okay, so let's move to the next section. I think we covered earlier headlines before. In this section, my focus was to again put yourself into the shoes of copywriter and really like force you to think that you guys need to really know more about this person than this person know about himself or herself. Okay, now as you know that this framework, market research framework inside CrollQ is designed in a way that you can go as deep as you want. But important thing to recollect here is the first four categories inside niche is your first milestone. So the categories are define your niche. These are also your hunch filling when you start the onboarding questions, the first challenge that you get, right? So these are 4 or 5 questions about your niche, sub niche, micro niche, vertical, and a still so it's kind of a small story that is ideal prospect overview. And these are still your hunch filling, and you sort of optimize them while you really jump inside this. But the define your niche is your fundamental seed to the further market research, and it can be hunch filling in the beginning, but you refine them with the appropriate insights that are based on these copywriting formulas. And these insights, if you know the framework well, then you will be able to work with these insights, what information to accept, what information to reject. So that's why I'm trying to cover this information in as much detail as possible. So define your niche, define your semantics, define your niche demographics, and define your niche psychographics. This is the first milestone. Once you achieve that, you can train your Athena with some external documents as well. Or at this stage, you just wanted to test your own inputs and ideas that you have refined and optimized here. You just press the button train Athena and it's ready. Then you can go to crawl q search and then see whether all the information that you wanna to sort of look for are coming as you desire. Okay, so again, the idea here in market research, it works in two ways. So it really helps you to uncover those most powerful needs and desires of your target audience. And sometimes these desire may be hidden. They're not sort of public. They might be verbally unacceptable or completely unknown. You might just uncover them while you are having this coffee conversation. And as a copywriter, your job is to understand deep these desires and try to locate the points of difference and then come up with arguments, pinpointed appeals for each of these desires that you uncover. So, um, but again, we want to re emphasize here that the market research and resonance, the framework that you follow inside CrawlQ, this is not about finding headlines or even the central theme of content, nor it will never be like this. Okay, the main job here is to uh, get a full direction, full steering to the CrawlQ engine Athena. So it's not only about just finding a headline or some sort of psychographics and then we are done. No, the main goal here was to identify them, structure them, optimize them, and then train our AI engine Athena on them so that we can use them in the most efficient manner. So, and market research and the insights, this is going to tell you where not to go. what to avoid, and you must avoid wasting your time, because if you do not follow this approach, then you are having an approach which is dependent on so many different information, and it's not a structured approach. So market research tells you where not to go to avoid wasting your time, and then it indicates the general area of your solution. But the transformation of those facts into ideas and the expression of the ideas in the strongest possible form still require as much as creative talent, with or without using AI, right? So you cannot delegate everything to AI blindly. You still need your creative ideas, or your creativity, or your interest, or your talent, or your skills, because as a human you're filtering those insights, you're trying to understand where your products and service in relation to those desires, those pain points that you uncovered. The source of an idea, no matter how profound, is still only the beginning, but using powerful human assisted AI. So in CrawlQ, we are not using keywords, we are not using the long form content which is generated by algorithms, because what happens when you keep pressing that button, a big algorithm is trained, and it has a memory, and the Google is calling it, like in more scientific or mathematical language you call them Markov chain. But the idea of the Markov chain is that whenever you create an output, so this output of the text is dependent on the previous output. So state 1 or state 2, they are related. State 2, that means the output that you generate by pressing one more time button, is connected with the state 1, and this is all inbuilt in that model parameters. So when you just use playground and you just keep pressing the button, it is possible to detect and pattern that this a clear dependence from state 1 to state 2. Your current output is dependent on your previous output. But here in CrawlQ, that is not going to happen. We are going to avoid this. Why? Because we will be filtering the context directly using our own AI. And then, even if we create a new content, it is not directly coming from the language model, it is context filtration. So it is not using the memory of the parameters of that model, but every time when we ask language model, or when we communicate with language model, it's a fresh sort of reaction, and it's not connected from the previous state of that model. I think this is going a bit technical, but yeah, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Here we are not going to use AI blindly. It's going to be used with your own steering wheel. The wheel will be in your hand. The steering wheel will be in your hand. Believe me on that. Okay. So thank you so for listening to this video. It's getting a bit longer than I was expecting, but I'll jump into a next video and I'll continue this. So thank you for listening, and let's continue.